Today we're going to grow some marigolds. So welcome to my lovely city garden. Today we're in my lovely city kitchen to start some seedlings. I've already started some a couple of weeks ago and they're already doing great. So marigolds are one of my favorite flowers for the garden. It not only is pretty, it has a couple of different purposes. Number one, it attracts all the pollinators that we need and we want in our garden, all the good bugs, and it also deters some of the bad bugs. The other great thing I love about marigolds is you buy a package of seed once and then you can continue to get the seeds from the dead flowers as they die off and use them for years. And I have a perfect example here. That's what I've done. You can take the dead flowers off as they die off. They kind of look a little crappy. But what you do is you open them up and there's tons of seeds inside. Perfect example, all of these seeds. These are just from last year. So what I do every year as they die off, I'll pluck them off, put them in a jar. They do say that you should cover the jar, keep them nice and airtight. However, I forgot to put my cover on my jar last year and prime example, they're still going to grow. So even if you make a mistake or what you think might be a mistake, don't be afraid to just continue to grow something. Try it because chances are, perfect example, I didn't have them in an airtight container, but I got plenty already so far. Today is March 22nd-ish, and I planted these on March 7th, and they're already doing great. So today we're going to grow some more. First thing we're going to do is fill our pot with some soil. I've already pre-mixed this soil with some water, so it's nice and moist, but not too wet. Okay, because we're going to water it in afterwards, and we want to make sure there's not too much water. Okay, so I'll just fill this pot with regular potting soil, nothing fancy. When I start my seeds, I don't go buy any special seed starting soil. I'm going to use what I have. When you're starting your seedlings, they don't need too much nutrition, so you don't need anything special. What I do for my top part of my my pot, I only fill this about halfway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sift out some more soil. That way we get out all of those big pieces of bark and bigger pieces of soil. I have to get my cat. My number one problems with seedlings, it's not that they die off because I didn't water them or didn't do what I needed to do with them. It's because my cat ruined them. What are you doing? Mavis, you cannot be over there. Hold on, let's move this up. Bud, come on. What you doing? Actually, he's fine there for now. I moved them. All this bark and stuff, and you'll notice what's left in here. Anything this big, when you're growing seeds, might deter the seeds from popping up if this is on the top layer. So I always want my top layers to be very sifted and very smooth. And as you can see, there's really not a lot of heavy things in here. It's just perfect for the top. I'm going to wet it a little bit. Move it on in. Okay. And grab our seeds. Super easy. A little dirty here, but that's okay. So, since I didn't cover them, the chances are a lot of these aren't going to germinate, but since I have tons of them, plenty for the garden, I'm going to throw a bunch on top. Just layer them nice on top there. And there might be a way, yes, these seeds are a little bit different than some of the other seeds you see when you're growing flowers and plants. They're straight. And I think there's a way, maybe you stick them in up or down. I don't do that. I just lay them on top. That would take way too long. I just lay them on top like this. Take some of my dirt. Not too much. And just layer that on top. Perfect. And then the last thing we're going to do is water it in. Now I try to, whenever I first start my first set of seedlings, which was March 7th this year, I always start some marigolds so they can get a head start. And then every week, a couple weeks, I'll grow a little bit more. And then that way we'll have some ready to flower as soon as they get put out into the garden. And then the next succession will be a little bit smaller, and then the third succession will be even smaller than that. You can actually put them right out into the garden, is what I sometimes do. Whatever I have left this year, I'm going to sprinkle it around and let them do what they want to, let them do what they want to do. Let's just, see what happens. But I like to put a little one of these flowers all around my garden. It's good for almost everything you're growing. I like to use natural remedies as much as possible. I don't use any pesticides in my garden. If I do have a pest problem, I try to figure out a way of naturally getting rid of them by trying to bring in other bugs. Use the flowers and herbs that deter the bad bugs, because I don't want to ever put chemicals into the ground I don't need to. I'm not going to say I'm 100% organic. I'm not, because some of the soil that I use has nutrients in it already in the bag, so I'm not even sure what's in there. But I try to go with a budget all the time, so whatever I usually get. But when it comes to going out into the garden, I don't put any pesticides. I don't use any chemicals. I will use some fertilizers, but they'll be natural. Again, I want to be able to grow as much as I can. I don't want to mess with the environment. I want to help the environment. So, thank you for watching. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions down below. Just remember, I'm not a pro. I just put stuff in the ground. I watch it grow and see what happens. Thanks again for joining us in my lovely city garden. I'll see you next time. Mavis, are you going to get down? So far, they've been pretty good without damaging any of my things, but season Johnny. Leave my seedlings alone!